David Henderson now, civil rights attorney, former prosecutor, CNBC contributor. David, thanks so much. Genevieve Hansen, she's not just any eyewitness. She's a first responder herself, just like Chauvin, and she's employed as a firefighter by the same city as Derek Chauvin. How powerful and important is her testimony?
Shep, I think you hit the nail on the head. She works in the same place. She does a very similar job. And what's most telling about her testimony is not what she said. It's how she responded to having to revisit the moment that she watched George Floyd die. Those tears that came out of her eye are the most compelling evidence, some of the most compelling evidence we've heard in the case so far.
You know, other than that one, there were other eyewitnesses who were clearly emotional on the stand. How effective can emotion be in a setting like that?
It's hard to overstate the impact of emotion in a state like this. I've said several times, Shep, that the way we talk about cases in an environment like this is very different from the way the jury processes it in the courtroom. That emotion helps to clarify for the jurors why they're there and why it's so important for them to get this case right. It's hard to overstate that importance.
The defense cross-examined these eyewitnesses, and in some cases, it almost felt adversarial. Your take on how it went?
It's dangerous crossing emotional witnesses if you don't have a rapport on them. The defense is almost in an impossible position, but as I say that, their cross-examination actually bolstered some of the witnesses. The MMA guy, they basically proved that, yes, he is in fact an expert in chokeholds. And one of the most damning pieces of evidence all day came to the young woman who testified and said that she feels obligated to apologize to George Floyd for not doing more. That came as a result of questioning from the defense that the prosecution picked up on. You
mentioned the MMA guy this morning. It felt like, and you tell me, counselor, but it felt like they were trying to say, if we had released the hold on George Floyd, we were afraid that he would, like a wrestler, overpower us and cause injury to one of our people. They never said those words, but it appeared to be where they were going, no?
That seemed like where they were going, and I don't understand what the logic was with that. The other problem that I saw with that testimony was it doesn't look like the prosecution is adequately preparing their witnesses to take the stand, because as effective as I thought he was, I thought they could have gotten even more out of him. Like, for example, anyone who's done jiu-jitsu before, it's definitely possible to say tap in addition to tapping while you're being choked. That'd be relevant based on the way he's being questioned.
What else do you think that the prosecution could have gotten but failed to get?
I think what the prosecution should have done was just stay tighter in their focus with regard to the testimony. And I know that's not exactly what you're asking me, because you're asking me, do I think they could have gotten more evidence? But here's one of those situations where less is more. Think about the movie Jaws. You only actually see the shark twice. The rest of the time it's implied. Trials work the same way. You don't have to ask every single question.
All right, we're at the end of day 2. How do you see things in the main?
As of right now, I think the prosecution's winning, but it's easy for them to be winning at this point because they said they're going to make that video come to life, and they have. There's still a path to victory for Derek Chauvin. It's just going to involve some very difficult choices, like, for example, whether or not he wants to take the stand.
David Henderson, thanks so much. Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.